right, we're rolling. Okay.
And
So today,
from the Fernando and Freddie Show.
Why isn't my name first?
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Readit on Reddit. I'm
Reddit.
Fernando.
And I'm Freddie.
All right, so this one's a short one. It's another AITA. Am I the a-hole? Okay, so am I the a-hole for being angry my parents left my sibling more inheritance than me because I'm more successful? So
This is a good one.
I was reading through the comments and the poster. She makes $100,000 a year.
Okay.
And her sister is less successful. They didn't say how much she makes, but it just reading through it makes me feel like she doesn't make a lot of money. Now, dad's already dead, so it was just mom, and mom dies now and left this money to the sisters. And it just looks like this sister is, pretty successful. Other sister isn't. So, what do you think?
It's a difficult one because you work hard, you get ahead, but you still expect to be equal, at least in your family,
Yeah.
to be created equally. So if we're all equal in the family, regardless of success, like imagine if you have if you're all billionaires, but one has a few billion more than the other. Does that mean you give the no? But it's easier to think of it that way because
Yeah.
if you're all billionaires, you're not coming from any level of need. So if I have 2 billion and you have 6 billion, do I deserve to get a supplemental 3 billion from our parents? I would say no. I would
Right.
say you could just divide that equally.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like it should have been right down the middle, like, rather than being like, oh, you know what, you're going to get 75%, you're going to get 25%. Like, just because she, makes good money and, has a good career and is stable, it doesn't mean that she doesn't need that money. What if, she wanted to use that inheritance, which, she knew that her parents were well off, and she, all this time had been like, oh, when mom dies, like, she's going to leave me this money. Like, I know I'm going to be
Yeah.
getting half of whatever it is. And when all is said and done, she's like, oh, I'm only getting like the garage door to that house. Like,
But actually, that's actually a really good question because what if it wasn't a question of, let's say the one who's more successful was more cold, was more mean to the family, and the one who was less successful, sacrificed their life to maybe help the parents, to take care of the parents in their older
that's true
age.
too.
Like we automatically assume it's just because you had more success that you were doing the right thing in life, and that's not always the case. A lot of times people fail up, they do evil things, and they still get ahead. So what if that was the case? Then yeah, by all means, the one with less should get more, because I mean, obviously, the one who makes more money is obviously financially more secure, has a future. So I would imagine if I was the if I was the richer one, I would give to my family as well. I wouldn't want to, it's like being friends with someone who makes less than you. You know, when I make a lot, I have no problem paying for everyone's drinks. You know,
Yeah.
and I think it's when you're that friend who can do more. I think it's the same thing in your case of your family. You don't want to be like, yeah, I've got my drinks, and you're over here looking at me thirsty.
Yeah, that's true too. But I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe we need some more information. And unfortunately, the post, I was just trying to find through the comments and stuff, but it got deleted from this morning to now, for some
Yeah.
reason or another. So um, I just thought it was kind of interesting, like, to read through, and that's how I got the supplemental information, was through the comments.
Well,
But
but on some of the financial like journals that I read, there are always
mhm,
articles like this where people write in like, my other siblings are more successful than I am. I essentially, sacrificed my life to help take care of my elderly mother who was financially well off. So while she was living, I was able to take care of my needs and my bills and everything like that. So now that she's passed, they feel like they deserve a bigger portion of the inheritance than the siblings. And
Yeah.
and some of the siblings are like, well, actually, some of the states allow you to claim more money if you
Hmm.
did make such a sacrifice.
Hmm.
And some places it just has to be done equally, and some places it can be, the family can decide. I mean, there's so many different factors into it, but on a case by case basis, I would just. But even without knowing any of the facts, I think the poorer one should get more.
Yeah.
When I think
Just
about it.
because she doesn't make as much money, just right off the bat.
Well, yeah, just because I mean, we don't know the circumstances of her making less money. I mean, there are a lot of people who work very hard. Like the idea is flawed that we often think that the harder you work, the more you make, and that's absolutely not true because lower wage workers do literally work harder than someone who has to go to an office every day. The compensation is not the
Yeah.
same. And it's not necessarily, oh, because they went to school. I mean, you have people with degrees who still have to work at a grocery store.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, I guess I'm kind of maybe thinking, maybe in my own life, just kind of putting things together and, you know, um, like, say, I won't use my own family, but let's just say, for example, a grandmother, and she has three kids, right? So, like, say it's not my grandma, but we're gonna say a grandma, so like a mom's mom, right?
Yeah.
So she has three kids, and say one of those kids, moved out of state, and then the other two kids are local. The one that's out of state is just kind of long gone, and the other two that are local, and yeah, they both, do things for mom or for their mom and, do grocery shopping or, doctor's appointments or this or that. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like typically e- when grandma dies, she's going to leave something to all three of her kids.
No,
And,
all to
her will
charity.
typically all to charity. And even the one that's out of state that they don't talk to is still going to, be getting something at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This one's tough.
It is tough because sometimes I think of like I laugh to myself, but my grandma has no problem telling me I'm her favorite. And she's a good number of grandchildren and great grandchildren. And it's just funny to hear, like last time we were speaking, she's like, "Yeah, I was telling Gwen because I did all the grocery shopping for her. Someone else was
Yeah.
supposed to do it, but they didn't get around to it." And I just said, "If they didn't do it, then like I always tell her, like we're the same in the way we think." I said, "If they didn't do it, they're not going to do it. So let's just do it now." And we did it. I was on the phone with her, and we went. I went through the application, everything she wanted. We talked about this and that, and everything she wanted, just put it in the cart. Put it in the cart. You know. And then at the end of the day, when we spoke the next day, just to make sure she got the delivery, she was like, "Yeah, one of my friends, we were just talking about you, and because I tell her all my stories, she always wants to know everything that's going on in my life and the life of my friends. So like whatever's going on in your life that I can share, I share." Because she likes to hear all these stories. No, but she'll be like, "How's Fernando doing? Is he okay with this or that?" And she wants to know what's going on because she always tells me, I'm living. She always tells me, "You're living my life. That's my life." She's like, everything that
Uh,
you did in life, I wanted to do, but I couldn't because of whatever circumstances. And now it's great to see you doing what I and so many other people dream of doing. Because it's crazy. Who moves on the other side of the world like this?
right,
Um,
right.
and so when she says that, and then I thought to myself one day, I wonder what the others like think if they hear her say things like that. Like, what if she did like leave me an inheritance and didn't leave anyone else an inheritance? How would I feel about that? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I wonder
Yeah.
about things like that. I mean, I've never asked her though, but I mean,
She's
but
gonna
I
see it on
but
our show, Freddie.
I know she probably will. But I was just laughing to myself but I already know what she would probably say. She'd be like, "You deserve everything. All you've done for me." But that's how we think. We think alike, and that's whatever I assume she would say is probably more than likely what she would say.
Yeah.
And so, like in that same circumstance of these people in the inheritance, it does. I mean, if you do go out and you show heart and kindness and you take care of someone, you often are when it's family wise or even like close friends. You do end up leaving them something, maybe a little bit more because they were so good to you in your and your final days and stuff like that. But I always figure one day when I'm like this old man, I'm gonna be like that same way. if I was the same, well, I would probably rather like make people like duke it out, like who's going to be nicer to me to get the most money, and then
Oh
leave
my
it all
gosh.
and then leave it all to an animal charity.
Wow.
I wonder if there's any old people that like troll their like family like that. Like, yeah, which one of you is going to get all my money? And then end up just leaving it to like the maid.
To the maid. That was in a movie,
It
and I can't
was.
think of the movie.
It's been a
Oh my
few
gosh.
movies.
Probably. Good movie plot. All right, you guys. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us on another episode of Reddit on Reddit with Fernando and
Let us
Freddie. Like,
Yeah,
comment,
let
and
us know what you think
subscribe.
in the yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, click. I just messed that up.
Climate.
Yeah, climate change. It's a real thing, people. Don't forget to like, click, and subscribe, and click the notification bell. And if you really thought this was an interesting episode, click the share button. See you.
From the Fernando and Freddie Show.
Why isn't my name first?